Hi, my name is Lauren Dempsey, and today I'm going to be talking about the effects of social media on teens today. I know that many people immediately think of social media as bad for teenagers when they first hear it, but there are also many benefits too. I've made a list of pros and cons to talk about that will go through the positive effects and negative effects of social media today. So for the pros, I wrote a couple, which most people don't really think of there being pros or positive effects of social media when they first think of it. But when you actually sit down and you think about what social media does and how influential it is in the world today, you can find out easily that there are some. So the first one that I wrote down was that social media gives teenagers and people just the easier ability to express yourself online and gain confidence in the real world. So I know that might not make sense, but being able to sit and kind of just make yourself, yes, making yourself seem different for social media is negative, but it helps people gain confidence by that in the real world, and it helps them with just talking in real life, just because the constant communication that happens through social media can help gain confidence in the real world. Another one that I wrote down was about how easy social media makes it to constantly contact your family and friends. So before social media was a thing, and really before cell phones or computers or anything where you could communicate back and forth was a thing, the communication between family members or between friends or coworkers or anything was really sparse, and you could only communicate how it worked then. So, through mail, through maybe phone calls, but still, even then, that was rare. So having the social media and all the websites and the texting and the communication gives people the ability to stay in constant communication and contact with their family members and their friends and their bosses and coworkers, employees, everything like that, which this helps because this constant communication builds relationships, it builds workers, it builds everything that you need in the real world, and having this constantly just allows information to get flowed across more and just stuff like that. Another one that I wrote down was social interaction, which, yes, that is a given about how much social interaction goes in social media, aka social media, which that might not make sense about how that could be a positive, but the social interaction that happens helps boost children's skills in the real world, because the talking back and forth on websites, on Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, stuff like that, gives you better confidence when you're talking to people in real life. Just because, and then with email, stuff like that, which is still social media pretty much, you're sitting down and you're thinking about what you want to say, you're using new words, stuff like that, which helps in the long run when you're talking face to face with people. So I just listed a couple of the pros of social media, which, yes, social media I believe can be very positive for people, but there also are many negative side effects that comes with social media. So for the first one that I put, which is a huge one that happens on social media, I put bullying. So bullying on social media is a huge problem today, just because people use the fact that they're not doing it face to face to their advantage. So because they feel like, I can't get caught, I'm not saying it for real, I'm just saying it online, so it doesn't really mean anything, which when you think about it, it really does. It's the same thing as bullying in real life. So people use that as their defense when they bully people online and they say mean things or comment hateful things on posts. And so that is just a huge, well talked about negative side effect of social media. Another one that I put was the unrealistic expectations and standards that happen on social media. So everyone feels the need to be perfect on social media, I have to get the most likes or the most comments, or I have to be the skinniest or be the prettiest. So just like that, just because we see that so much with the famous people who are famous, who they post it where they're heavily edited and not natural, that just gives younger kids and teenagers just unrealistic standards and unrealistic expectations of what they should look like, which in reality, that's not true. You just need to be yourself, but people don't understand that because it's constantly thrown in their face on social media. Another one that is a huge negative effect on social media is the amount of peer pressure that happens. Peer pressure on social media is very adamant because people now post about what they do. You know, they post about doing drugs or doing alcohols or doing things that are dangerous to themselves, but they portray it to be cool or fun, which makes other people want to do it and other people participate in it, which in reality, social media wasn't there and people didn't publicize the things that they were doing. Drugs, alcohol, drinking, underage drinking, stuff like that wouldn't be as big of a problem, probably. Another really big negative effect of social media is the amount of screen time that people use on it, which decreases their ability to talk in person, which I know that doesn't seem right. It kind of seems condescending to what I was talking about in the pros, but in today, and really with the younger teenagers, the amount of time spent on their phones and spent on just online is obviously going to be negative. Just spending that much time on anything will result in something negative. So having that, like being on social media too much, can detrimentally affect your health, your mental health, your state of being. But that's like very known today. It was just a huge part of social media. So I just got done listing the effects, the negatives and the positives on social media, which, yes, the negatives are what are mainly talked about today, and the negative effects and how it's bad for teenagers and it's bad for kids, which I do completely agree that it is, but I also do believe that there are positive aspects of social media that need to be talked about too. Like, social media can build people up sometimes as well. So thank you for listening, and bye.